Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on European Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it was sent to me by one of our dear sisters. Strange things indeed, they do happen in this world. The message that she sent to me reads like this: I have lived a life that I am not proud of, and I know that one day, if I ever die, if it happens that I go to heaven, I have to answer for all the things that I have done, and maybe I'll be sent to hell. Who knows? My name is Rudo, not your real name, and I do come from Zim. It all started when I was still staying with my grandparents in the village. My grandmother, in particular, she was someone that was really cruel and evil. My grandmom, she did not like anyone at all. I was never like this, but somewhere along the way, because of my upbringing, I lost my path. My mom, she was someone who was a good Christian, but she made a mistake when she said that I was supposed to go to the village and stay with my grandparents. I learned from my grandparents because my grandmom, she was a woman who was consumed by greed and jealousy. She was willing to do anything to get what she wanted. I used to see her going into our neighbor's compound, taking even soil, and going to the graves and leaving the soil on top of the graves there. No matter who was hurt in the process, she did not even care. I still remember this other time when we used to get the food from the United Nations Food Aid Program. So you had to have your name written on the list. These were the list of families that were really poor and struggling. So my grandmother, she wanted to be on that list, even though she was on that list, but she wanted to be the first. So it happened that she was the last person on the list. So she complained that she did not get enough of everything that we were being given. And I still remember how she bewitched some of the people that were writing the list of the names of the people that were really poor in the village. And after my grandmother had taught me how to bewitch people, when I look back in the past, I have done the same thing that my grandmom used to do. I have torn families apart, brought misery to those who trusted me, and used dark magic to do anything that I want. Now I am currently living in South Africa, where I have continued my dark work as I have been told and taught by my own grandmother, but I am not as strong as she was, because the weight of my actions, they do crush me sometimes when I think about it. My story starts when I returned back to Harare and I started staying with my mom and my dad again. I was young and life was very hard. We did not have much, and I was always envious of those who seemed to have everything. That was when I was taken by this other woman who was an elder at our church. They had everything. They had money in their home. You would see that their home was a home that was filled with love and happiness. And when I looked at my own situation, I was desperate to escape my poverty, to find a way, even though I was working for her as a maid, but they were not treating me right. They were not giving me a lot of money. I think that it was because of my age and because we went to the same church. And when I started working for this woman, that was when I found out that there was this other woman again who was staying in the same street. She started being friendly with me. She would buy me some fancy stuff. That woman, she was not that rich, but she used to do a lot of things for me, asking me how my mom was doing. Then one day, she told me that she wanted to take me under her wing. I did not understand, but later on in the evening, I had a knock on the window. So when I had a knock on the window, little did I know that I was fast asleep and this was happening in the spiritual realm. I woke up and I went to the window and I found out that the curtain was already opened, and I saw this woman, whom I'll call my Sibanda, not her real name. She was there. She was waiting for me, and she told me that I was supposed to go outside and we were supposed to have a meeting. I found myself outside after I had agreed. She then showed me her other friends. This we did at her house. She then showed me that she had a snake that she wanted to give to me, and she kept on saying awando anunzi manshura, meaning that this is magic and no one else but you, and we as a group, we are the ones that can only see this snake and other witches out there. She told me that this snake, it could be there to hurt those that hated me, to hurt those that wanted to use me. So I then accepted this snake. Already I was a witch. My grandmother, she was the one who had done all the work building up the foundation so that the other witches that I was going to meet later on in life, they can continue with her work. So that is how I was introduced to this witchcraft business. The first time that I used my powers was on a woman who later hired me, whom I'll call Tendai. She was married to a wealthy businessman. She hired me, and I wanted what she had whilst I was working for her. And this woman was really lazy, and what I hated about her, whenever she was on her period, she will just dump her used pads in a washing basket, and she would expect me to remove her used sanitary pads, and I had to touch it with my own hands. If she had the decency to at least buy for me some gloves, it was going to be better. But she was treating me like a slave, and she was not giving me enough, but at least she was giving me more than what the church elder was giving to me. That was when one night, when I was thinking about the way that she was mistreating me, I saw a snake in my bedroom, and the snake, I was not even afraid of it because I knew that it was my spiritual snake. It asked me how I wanted this snake to hurt my madam boss. I told the snake that it should go and it should do whatever that it wanted with my madam boss. So it disappeared. Within weeks after I had placed a curse on their relationship using my snake, their marriage was in shambles. The husband started accusing her of infidelity, and their love turned to hate. When they finally divorced, I was really happy. I stayed with her husband, and I did not want the husband. It was just that I just wanted to enjoy. That is what happened to me. I enjoy seeing another woman suffer. If your husband makes a mistake to propose love to me, if I accept, if it happens that you find out that your husband is cheating on you with me, then you try to reach out to me. That will be the worst mistake of your life, because what I will do is that I will use that opportunity to hurt you even more. What I do is that whenever I am dating a married man, I ask that man to take me some videos whilst he is making love to me. When he is asleep, I can even take a video kissing him, and I'll just keep those videos so the man will think that maybe it is just for memory's sake, but it will be a tool in my toolbox that I will use later on. The moment that the wife will contact me, I'll start to send the videos of us making love. I do not even care if the woman will threaten to publish me online, because I know that before you publish me online, I'll be done with you. I am that cruel. I just enjoy to see other women suffering. I really do not know why. I am just addicted to that, and the thrill of watching people's lives fall apart, it is just nice to me. I target families with wealth, homes that I envied when I was still growing up. I have this gift of always finding myself in an environment where wealthy people will just hire me as their maid. Once you hire me as your maid, I'll start to manipulate you and placing doubts in your mind, making you feel as if your husband does not love you. In the meantime, I'll be using some charms on your husband, because I am like a master at deception, using each and every trick in the book to get what I want. One time when I was working for this other couple, this was in Bulawayo, they were happy. They had two young children living in a beautiful house. I was friends with the wife who was my lady boss, and soon enough, she started telling me some of her darkest secrets on how the husband had been cheating on her, and she did not want to let her relatives know that this was what was happening. So I still had my snake. Even the day that I went to her house for the interview, I did bring my snake with me. It was hidden in my bag. Later on, I then released the snake. The couple started fighting, blaming each other for things that did not even make sense. It was not long before they separated. I had already started sleeping with the husband after destroying homes in Bulawayo. That was when I said, let me move on. I had this other friend of mine who does not know that I am a witch. She told me that she was now working in South Africa at this other restaurant. I told her that I also wanted a job. She said that she will speak with her boss. I then came to South Africa. When I came to South Africa, I got a job as a maid for a well-off family in South Africa. They had everything, money, a beautiful home. Their life was so perfect. I started off being the ideal employee, always polite and hardworking. I had earned their trust, and soon enough, I was like part of the family, but I was not there to serve them, to be their poor slave. I was there to destroy them. I had brought my snake with me. No one can see it. And I used it to curse their home, to drain their life, and to introduce the spirit of poverty. The wife started falling ill. The husband started cheating. I would watch them argue, smiling, knowing that this is my own doing. I used the snake to keep the wife weak, for she was very prayerful before I had started working for her. So I wanted her weak, her energy drained, always doubting God, whilst I was manipulating the husband, because I had seen that the husband was someone who really loved women, but with the way that the wife used to pray, that was what was keeping him as a decent man. After I had started manipulating him with charms that I would place in his food, he became infatuated with me, and soon enough he was wrapped around my finger. By the time that he realized what was happening, it was too late. His marriage was over. He begged me to stay when his wife was gone. When I had taken over his home, I used him and I dumped him. I have done this to more families than I can count. Each and every time I tell myself that it will be the last, but the spirit, there is a spirit in me that controls the way that I think and the way that I even act, the spirit of witchcraft. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our DM sister. That was the translation of the message that she sent to me. Strange things indeed, they do happen in this world.